Hey everybody, this is Dave coming to you from the Gaming Cave. Today we're going to continue our playthrough of Enemy Action Ardennes, Battle of the Bulge. And we're getting ready to start December 17th. But first, I got to make some corrections because I did make some errors during my last video, unfortunately. But that's how we learn sometimes, right? So one of the things I printed off, this is this is the list of things that were noted by 100 Rolls. So he's a subscriber to the channel and he's been watching my first couple videos and giving me lots of pointers, things I could do different and things that I did wrong. So what we're going to do is make some corrections here. I'm going to put some things back where it doesn't, where we made some changes. The first thing is when I placed, let me zoom in here a little bit. When I placed this unit 3 hexes away, 1, 2, 3, it includes the 3, so I really could have put him there. That was my reserve unit for the 1st SS, so I am going to place him there. Okay, that's the first one. The next one that we have to work on is I got to work on this battle. So I'm reviewing, and what I'm going to do is I'm watching my video again, and I'm going to see where I went wrong and see if I can fix a couple things here, because I think I moved a unit when I shouldn't have on the retreat. And let's see what we do here. So I'll be back here in just a minute and make this correction. Okay, so in this battle here, this 14th Cav unit was in this hex right here. Make sure I'm pointing at the right thing. Was in this hex. So the first hit forced him to retreat 1 hex. So that was his hex that he retreated to. Then the second one, because I had 1 hit left, but he was 2 steps, becomes a hold check. So does he check? So in the flip book, if I can get this far enough out here so you can see. So we're doing a hold chance right here, and we have these modifiers. So when I added everything else up, it was a 7. He had 7 for his chance. So if it was less than or equal to 7, he would hold this hex, which is rated as a 3, and he would take a step loss instead of retreating further back. And that's what he did. He took that step loss. So then I was able to advance 2 armor units and my infantry, airborne infantry, into that hex. And that's the position we're left in now. So it's a little bit different. Not everything's moved up as much. And now we're in this location here where he lost the step, and I got to see if I can push him back again. Okay, so that fixes that one. So let's see what we got next. Okay, and on this battle here, I should have done another hold check here before I just retreated them, because what my error was, I read this, if he took a loss and we had 2 bracketed units, then they would lose zone of control, but they do not lose zone of control, they hold that. So instead of pushing back, I got to see if he actually holds or not. And so the number is 5. So it's worth 2. And then with the modifiers, 3 steps, it's 5. So he needs a 5 or less, he'll take a step loss. At 6 or higher, he'll retreat. And so we roll, and it is a 4. So he took a step loss on this other unit. Oops, sorry. Get my tweezers going. So they took a step loss, but they do not retreat. So that's interesting. So both units are there now. And together they still have zone of control. All right. And I think basically that's going to fix everything that I'm going to be able to fix. Now the thing I did at the end, I kind of I cheated myself a little bit, and I can't go back and fix it. So when you're at the end of the turn and there's no more cards in your draw pile. You still get to play all the cards in your hand. I didn't do that. When my draw pile ran out, then I didn't play any more cards, and I discarded the rest of my cards. So I basically took a pass on those, and I shortchanged myself probably at least one more sequence, but so be it. That's the fortunes of war. Okay, so we are now ready for the 17th of December. Kind of reset my board a little bit, and we'll see where we go. The 17th, the Allied command level is 4. I've got my cards all reshuffled. I put the reserve units down here for the 17th, and so we're now ready to draw my 6 cards. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, let's see what we get here. Bring the camera over a little bit. We have 5th Panzer Army with the 67th Panzer Corps. We have the 6th Panzer Army, 1st SS Panzer Corps, 6th Panzer Army, the 67th Corps, 7th Panzer Army, the 85th Corps, 5th Panzer Army, the 58th Panzer Corps, and the 5th Panzer Army, the 57th Panzer Corps. All right, so see what we've got here. These are a lot of Corps cards, and then some division cards also. All right. Let's see what we can do here. I really like having this 1st SS Panzer because I'm trying to punch through up there, and I can deploy all Corps reserves, which I don't have any. I can activate all my units in the Corps, and then I can activate any one unit. But I really think I want to play this. And let's see what we can do here. So we're going to be working up here. Bring the camera back over a little bit. All right, so this is the 1st SS Panzer. Now, I've got this guy. Kind of got him pinched right there. So I have 2 units here. They're worth 4. This Piper Corps is worth 1, 2, 3. So I could bring him up, or I can bring him up this way along the road. I just can't get into there. I could bring him down this way, but it's going to take, let's see, that'd be 1. This is woods, so that's 3. So that'd be 4. That's an open terrain. I can get him in here and have him to attack here, or if I want to do some type of a combined arms kind of deal, that's a possibility. Assault coordination. So I think I'm going to move, these 2 units are both going to move into there. And I'm bringing the Piper down. That's 1, 4. He has movement factors of 6. And then the open terrain is 5. Okay. I have these 2 units, and I have this armored. But he would move 3. He can't, if he doesn't travel the road, it's not going to help him any there. These 2 are going to move up. It's 2 infantry. And then I can move another one of these guys over there. One. And into the woods costs him, well, that's forest. Yeah, it costs him 2. So 1, 2, 3. So he's there. This guy's still hanging out back here. I have these guys up here that I can drive in with also. So I can do 1, 2. He has to come up the road. 1, 2. He can come up the road. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to send a combined arms unit in there. 1, 2, 3, 4. See if I can do some penetrating up here. And that leaves me these guys in reserve right now. I think I'm going to leave them there and see what these battles do, whether I need to bring them in this way or bring them this direction. So we're trying to get a little push here on some of these guys and see what we get here. All right. Okay, I'm going to use as a combat tactic assault coordination. It's worth 1 point, so that's 4 points that I'm spending there. And my choices are down here or up here, and try to drive these guys out of here. Here I would have 3, 6, 7, 9, 11 to 3. So 11 to 3 is 3 to 1. Not great. Here I would have 5, 11, 13, 16 to 3. That's 5 to 1 there. That's better. And I think that that's what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to do this right here with this Piper division and see if I can't get these guys uprooted out of here and give me some relief here with this assault coordination. All right, so this one was 5 to 1. Just count them again. 6, there's 3, 5, 10, 16 to 3, and they're green. So that's 5 to 1. Okay, so we're going to do this one 5 to 1. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 chits plus 1 for my battle tactic, so that gives me 5 chits. I have an elite unit, so it goes up to 6. So I didn't get to do a large attack, which you need 7, but I got 6 there. Okay, so he is a 2 right there. So we're going to, we got a full cup this time. So we're going to pull the first 2 chits and see what them bad boys are. We got a greater than 4 to 1, yes. We have a flank attack because we are hexes separating us, yes. So far that's 2 hits on him. That's enough to push him, to get him out of that and push him back, but I'm going to draw the other 4 chits. I want this guy, I hope I can eliminate him. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, here we go. Flank attack, yes. Sorry, flank attack. Attacker artillery, no. Defender artillery, no. Oh, wait a minute. Before I go any further, I didn't pull his command card. So I have to do that. Ah, he got combat artillery. So he does have, the defender does have artillery. Okay, so defender artillery, yes, that goes against me. Dispersed, unsupplied, no. Defender adjacent, no. So that one's not going to count. And this is another same token. Okay, so those two don't count. So that's going to be 3 hits on the defender, 1 on the attacker. So 3 hits on the defender, 1 on the attacker. All right, get these 2 out of there. They're used up. Okay, the first hit takes off the improved position. So we take it off. That brings him down to 2 hits. Okay, now we're going to use our chart. Make sure we get this right. If units defending steps, if units hits are greater than or equal to defending steps, retreat 1 hex. So he's got 2, so he goes back 1. Now, he can't go this way because of my zone of control, and he can't go that way because of zone of control, so he has to go this direction. Okay. All right, so it leaves him with 1 hit left. All right. He hasn't retreated 2 hexes yet. The hits are less than the steps, so he doesn't retreat. If losing his step would cause the units to exert no zone of control from the hex it occupies, retreat 1 hex. So he would lose zone of control because he would drop to 1 and it's bracketed. So he's going to retreat another hex. Now, it looks like he should go across the river. So now we're going to check Allied retreats. Priorities: into a hex not in enemy zone control, into a hex in enemy zone control occupied by 1+ supplied unit, unoccupied supply, unoccupied supply. Okay. All units retreat together in the same hex except stacks with dispersed units can only retreat 1 hex, isolated infantry 1. Max retreat 2 hexes. Okay. From the combat hex, disperse the units. Okay, so he's restrictions. Unbridged river or forest, only if no options. That's what we did the first time. So he went back across the river. Not into an enemy town or city, stacking observed limits. Okay. So I would say he would follow here. That's his, where he retreats to, and he becomes dispersed. All right. So I drove him off. Well, I could advance this guy here, but I don't want to. These guys can come here, but I really don't want to there either because I want to leave them. I want to leave them here. I did what I wanted to do, which was drive that unit out of there. So I think that's where I'm going to leave that. Oh, I have to take 1 hit on these units. This armor, he would go down to 1. This armor would go down to 2. I think I'm going to take it off of this unit right here. Make him a 2 and a 2. And he's still a 6. Okay. All right. Whoa! Made a mess there. Okay. These guys are still there. And there. Push everybody back. Okay. All right. That takes care of those 4 cards. And we now go to Allied Command Impulse. Oh, gee whiz, Dave. Get these off the board. All right. 5th Corps. Special. Allies alert. Turn 16. Not in turn 16. Deploy all Corps reserves for the 5th Corps. Okay, so we have a couple units here for the 5th Corps. So we have the 9th Division and the 1st Division of the 5th Corps. So let me check here, find my cheat sheet for deploying. Oops. All right. Allied reserves. 16 and 17. Here we go. Method A only. Place unit in a hex meeting all of the following criteria. First, check best candidate hexes. Empty position hexes. So we're up here in the 5th Corps. And these guys are part of the 26th and 47th Regiment. There's a 1st Division. So he's going to want to be close to him. This guy's part of the 5th, which we don't have anybody in there from the 5th. Those are part of the 99th Division. Okay. In a unit's core area, so that's going to be in this area here, able to trace Allied supply and check unit proximity. German unit proximate, so within 3 hexes. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So they're going to be 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we have a lot of not in a German held city. Finally check not adjacent to an Allied unit with zone of control unless the position of hex has a HV of 5 or 6. Okay. Within 3 hexes of a unit in the same division. So we know that we have the 1st Division up here. That's where he's at. So I can be within 3 hexes of him. So within three of the proximate, and they could move on this road 1, 2, 3, 1, and that 3 before. So that's as far as he could get. So that's his proximate position. So I could put, and within 3 hexes, 1, 2, 3, that's a location. That's a location. So here, he can move 4, and he would be adjacent to that. So I could put him in here. That looks like the best position for the 1st Division, right there. Then we have the 9th Division. So none of these guys, okay, within 3 hexes of unit in the same corps. So I can do that. So again, his movements 1, 2, 3 on the road. 1, 2, 3. If it was open, he could get there. I think that's where he would go, is right there. He's going to make it tough on me to control that. Okay, our next impulse, we've got to draw 2 cards. And I just want to do one thing, because I should have followed my daily sequence of play. Card preparation, I did all that. Supply phase, turn 21, hire none. Bridge, you may play a bridge engineer's command event to repair or build a bridge. So when I drew my 6 cards, I have combat engineers, but I don't have any bridges that I want to build right now, because they've all you know, nothing's there. And I did mark this bridge with the bridge marker. It says going this direction, says that I control that bridge. That's the one that I crossed. Okay. Now, we're good with supply status. Everybody's still in supply. Remove roadblock markers not in both German and Allied communication. 14.1. I just want to check this real quick to make sure that I have a roadblock marker, but I believe he's in both. Yeah, I know he's in Allied communication and he's in German communication. So I believe that that one's going to stay there. Communication for a Hexer unit is determined whenever called for. Trace may be in an enemy zone of control, may not pass through an enemy town or city hexes or through hexes occupied or controlled by enemy units. Right. So I would say that that roadblock marker stays there for this one. Okay, I got to draw 2 cards. I get a 7th Army, the 80th Corps, and I get a 5th Panzer Army, Manteuffel. Okay, so this one's a big one. I can deploy all 5th Panzer Army reserves, which I don't have any. Can activate a camp group, can activate the 5th Panzer Army Corps, 1 corps, or I can have a command event. Okay, so that's a big one there. That's a nice one there for the 5th Panzer Army, which is here in the middle. And I might just do that. Here's the beauty of this thing now. I'm kind of getting these guys are breaking through here. I'd like to come down and help with this area down here and bust this thing out, or I can drive up here and see if we can get into St. Vith, which, you know what, ain't a bad thing, right? So these guys are, both of them are 5s. That's 1. If I do that, yep, 1. I got to check for a roadblock. If it's not, then it's 2. Then I got to check for a roadblock. If it's not, I move there. Then I got to check for a roadblock. But I could conceivably get up here into St. Vith. 1, 2, 3, 4. Give me 2 victory points and start to get in position to deal with these guys and bring this other unit up here too, and see what we can do. Or I could drive him right here, but then I got to deal with these guys, which are only a strength of 2, and I'm at 4, 8, come on, 8, 10. It's a 5-to-1 with him right there. Maybe I could deal them a blow too. I got a lot of things that I can do here. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play this 5th Panzer Army card. I'm going to move this whole stack so it's an infantry, an armor, and another armor. They can move there. This stack is going to start moving. So that's 1. Now I have to check for a roadblock. So I have to roll. And it's a 2 or less. I got a 5. Okay, so no roadblock. So they're going to move. Now they'll move here. It's number 2. They got to check for a roadblock here. Oops, shoot. That's another 5. So again, no roadblock. Now they're going to move 3. This roadblock isn't blocking me yet. And now we're going to move into St. Vith. Oh, I got to check for a roadblock. Sorry. It's a 5 or less. This is hopefully, here we go. I'll show you the roll. Oh, 2. There's a roadblock. Okay. Shoot. I was hoping to get in there. It was a chance, right? A gamble. We took a gamble to see if we could get in there. There's a roadblock in St. Beth. I'm going to have to find out what that bad boy is now. Okay, but I did move these guys who can do battle here. Like I said, I have 4, 8, 10. Let's see. Press the attack. Air power I don't have. I'll keep these guys because I can deploy his reserves. Fixed artillery, combat artillery, the 85th, he's down there. Infantry infiltration. I have an infantry unit. I do. So I could give him something. These guys are fighting across that river, so they're at half. They are 7, 10, 13, 16 to 3. So 68 to 3, those only 2 to 1. So that's not a good odds fighting across that river. So yeah, so that's not what I want yet. And combat engineers, they don't really give me I don't think they're going to give me what I want either. Sorry, checking this just to be sure. As an attacker, add 1 to the combat strength. In addition, remove an IP marker. No, maybe that ain't so bad to play there with my 5th Panzer Army. Yes, in fact, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to play that. Combat engineers with these guys against them. Combat engineers for the attacker. Add 1 to the attacker's combat strength. In addition, remove an IP marker from the defender's hex prior to resolving combat. Disregard allied combat tactics for replacing the IP. So we get to take this off. So it no longer has an effect there. And we are at 4, 8, 10, plus 1 is 11. So I'm still at 5 to 1 odds. So I have 5 to 1 right here. Let's see. Bring my card down here. Sorry, I was doing all this and not showing you what I was doing. Gee whiz. Okay, sorry about that. So I have 5 to 1 odds. So I moved, man, I thought I was showing all this. I moved this unit up the road and did all my roadblock checks here as we went. And then I got a roadblock at St. Beth. I moved this stack from here to there along the road, and we're attacking this unit right here, the 106th Division of the 18th Corps. So they're coming under attack from the 58th Corps. And I applied my combat engineers, took their IP off of that one at 5 to 1, and I had 3 units. So that's 3 plus 1 is 4 chits. So I get 4 chits for that. And so we're going to start with the first 2. And it is Defender, Attacker Elite. No. Oh yes, Attacker is Elite. Okay, so Attacker's Elite. So that's 1 hit. One hit. And greater than 2 to 1, yes. So that's 1 on the attacker, 1 on the defender. So I need 2 more chits. Greater than 8 to 1, no. Greater than 4 to 1, yes. Attacker elite, yes. Okay, so that's my 4. Take that off of there. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 defender hits and 1 attacker hit. Okay, so the defender he retreats 1 hex. We can't go here. He wouldn't go there. He can't retreat there because it's zone of control. So he's gonna, and his actual retreat marker is there. So that's 1. Okay. Second. So that leaves me with 3 hits now. So we're still more than that. He hasn't retreated, so he's going to retreat a 2nd hex here. And then he still has 2. And now he takes, the last 2 are going to be 2 hits, so he eliminated the 106th. So they're gone. That division is eliminated. Okay. And I can advance here. So my stack is going to move 1. We'll leave them right there. That's where I want them. So now we're putting pressure on these guys. So that corps is doing a great job. Oh, I took a loss though, and I'm going to take it with my infantry unit. Ooh, that drops him to 2. What about this armor unit? He goes from 2 to 1. I'm going to take it on him. So they move to there. Okay. Oh, I didn't do his combat. He had engineers. But I know that because I played my engineers, he does not get to add back his combat engineers. He does not get to add back his improved position because that's what I got rid of. So on the Allied events, Allied combat tactics, he has combat engineers, defender, place an IP marker. It doesn't get to do that, thank goodness. It didn't change anything. So I eliminated that unit and I moved into that hex. That takes care of this. And that was the 58th Corps. So I marked them. Take these 2 cards off. That was my 4 points. Okay. Now we do another Allied turn. 1st U.S. Army, 18th Airborne Corps. Deploy all Corps reserves. So that's the first thing they're going to do. So the reserves are coming on the board. So he has 3 of them. We have the 7th Armored, 7th Armored, 7th Armored. So he's got 3 of the same division. These guys are part of the 106th and the 106th right there. All right. Now, I think we have to check these roadblocks and see if any of these guys show up there. So let me read on this and we'll see what we're going to do here for these reserves. Okay, so I have a unit up here of the 18th Corps and 3 hexes from him, and the largest number, this is a 3, but it's next to that one, so it'd be here. So that's the farthest, that's a number 2 that's eligible here. Or 1, 2, 3, that's this one, but that's adjacent again. So really this is it right here, this number 2. Now down here, 3 from this guy would be 1, 2, 3, and we're proximate to the Germans. So this really is the highest number. We can go one, oh, wait a minute. There's that one, and then 3 from this guy. 1, 2, 3, this one. And then we have, he could move there 1, 2, even if he went this way, that would be 2, 3, that's approximate. So really, this is the farthest west, so this would be it. So unit number 1 reinforces here. 1, 2, 3 from there, and I'm proximate to the Germans. Now, unit number 2, there's 3 of these, 7th Armored. He's within 3 hexes here. Okay. Using method A again. Allied supply line, German units proximate. Placed in the position, reserve unit would not be in dangerous round. Non-German, not adjacent to an Allied position, has a hold value, unless either of the following is true. It has a hold value of 5 or 6. This one actually has that with that roadblock there. Now I believe we should replace the roadblock with the 7th Armored right there. And then the second unit within 3 hexes, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 right there, 1, 2, 3 up here. I think he would go into Vilsalm there. And then the last one within 3 hexes of all these guys, the highest one is this one, or this one farthest west. That would be the 7th Armored coming in this way. That's a 3, that's a 3, and you go to the farthest west. So I believe that's where the reinforcements would be. Hope I didn't mess that up. It's a little confusing how to pick exactly where, but I believe because that value's a 5, that's where he would go, because that's the exception is in rule, in deployment A, here in the rule book. So German units proximate to the position, if placed in the position, would not be in danger of surround. He's not. The position is not a German town or city. It's not adjacent to an Allied unit with a zone of control, unless the position has a hold value of 5 or 6, which St. Vith does, or the adjacent unit is out of communication and would be placed in communication by placement of that unit. So I believe I've got that one right. Let's hope so. Okay. That's the end of that impulse. How many of these cards I got left? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I need to draw 2 more cards for my next impulse. I got the 85th Corps with a division card, and I got the German Army, 7th Army Brandenburger. Deploy all 7th Army reserves. But I believe for this one, what I'm going to do is I want to deploy the, let's see, I've not been taking care of my core movements. So the last one was those guys, so they're not available. Okay, first SS is available again. I'm going to activate the 80th Corps, which is going to give me a marker for them. For the 80th Corps. And we're going to deploy their reserves. So I have their reserves coming on here. Then 3 hexes, 1, 2, 3. Come on a road hex. And that's his 2 points. That'll be his impulse. We'll have another American impulse here. which means this one comes off of there now. All right, so again, I just want to check real quick for my Germans, because I think this movement here, I could put him here. He's still 1, 2, 1, 2 within that zone. We're still on method A. Actually, we're in German reserves, so I got to go to German reserves. This one was a core card, and within the unit armies area, in a road hex, it's a valid hex, at least 3 hexes away from an allied unit. So at least 3 away. So 1, 2, 3. That's where I put him. So this is down here. So this is my reserve unit, and hexes away 1, 2, 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I got 3. No matter how I count it, I got 3. Okay. So that was theirs. Now we do an allied command card. 18th Airborne Corps, 7th Armored Division, deploy them, which we did. 82nd Airborne Division Reserves, they're not available yet. Activate 7th Armored. Okay, so we're going to have an activate 7th Armored and 82nd. We don't have them yet. All right, so I think this will probably be the last part for this one. We're going to see how to activate the 7th Armored, and let's see what we got. Okay, we draw 3 Allied action cards. 1, 2, 3. We put them in order. 3, 16, 19. So we have fill the gap. And we definitely have a gap in their lines down here where we broke through. Unit proximate to empty position to which a German unit is also proximate. Position with hold value less than 5 may not be in another Allied zone of control. Move to position. If more than one choice, move to highest HV, then fewest MPs required. Preserve the line, avoid surround, protect this hex. Okay, so for this one, he's definitely not doing anything because that's where he's at. These guys want to move to protect that, to fill the gap. So unit proximate to empty position to which a German unit is also proximate. So they're trying to fill this gap right here where they have a zone. They don't have zone of control here. He has zone of control here and he has zone of control here. So this is the gap in the line right here. And then he has a gap down here where he doesn't have zone of control. He has zone of control here, but nothing there. So they have a gap here and they have a small gap up here of 1 space. So these units would try to move to fill this gap. So he has a zone of control. If he can get to here, he could have a zone of control. He's not going to move because he's covering that 5, and I don't think he's going to move because he's going to cover that 5. Move, let's see, position with hold value less than 5 may not be in another Allied zone of control. All right, and we start with the highest number, which would be this guy. He would try to move down here to fill this gap. If he moved, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would put him right here, and he's getting closer to filling the gap. Proximate, if none, move to an unoccupied proximate German town. If none, withdraw under fire. Okay. All right, gotta do a little reading. Okay, we know they have a huge gap. He's going to start, so he's the highest numbered. So then, fill the gap. We go highest number to lowest number. So he's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's as far as he can go. He fills the gap. Now this guy, he can fill the gap. 1, 2, 3, 4. He can get here. He can't. This line's the core line, so he shouldn't go below that. So they're trying to fill. They're trying to get this gap filled here. So he would have zone of control here. He needs a zone of control here. 1, 2, 3. He can move there, and it puts him in proximity with these guys, which starts to establish the line again. 1, 2, 3, 4. He can't move here, which would give him zone of control, which would establish that one and connect these two, but they still would have a gap in here, but it gets them closer. 1, 2, 3. He can go here. He doesn't close the gap, and he doesn't close the gap here. I think he should go 1, 2, 3, 4, and it gives him the gap right there. 2, 3, 4. This unit won't move because he's in that. He's staying. He's not going to move to an empty space. He's already there. And he's still preserving the line, avoiding surround, which he's not surrounded, protect his victory point hex, which is what he's doing. That's my question here. Should he stay up here and protect this victory point hex? And I almost think he should. He's not going to preserve the line. He can't preserve it. So he's going to move. He's not going to go anywhere else. So that's the end of that one. Move. Unit stack not adjacent to a supplied German unit. Move to an unoccupied victory point hex to which a German unit is proximate. Well, that one's occupied, so this is the victory point hex, so he's not going to move. Neither one of them. And then withdrawal under fire, unit surrounded or in danger of surround, neither one of them. So that's it. All right. So this 7th Armored unit came down here. He's trying to fill the gap. Okay. I think I'm going to call it here. We've been going at it for a while here. I know I'm still stumbling around some, but there's a lot of rules you got to read. Hopefully I'm not messing it up too bad, and we'll see how it looks. So hey, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I would appreciate it. And if you like what we're doing, give me a thumbs up. Apologize for any poor camera work that I've done. Now with these lower command values, you're getting more impulses, both with our cards over here, because I only used one card that turn to do my activation, and then also with the allies, because now they're getting impulses a lot faster. So now they're starting to, what that simulates is, to me, is it starts to simulate their reactions are starting to happen now. They have more chances to bring their reinforcements up. They have more chances to start, just like this, filling the gap or trying to protect what they have there. So it's later on that they start to get more aggressive with combat and stuff like that. Right now they're just trying not to have a big gap in their line. All right, I'm going to call it. This is part 1 of December 17th. Hope you enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. And like I said, please subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll see you on the next one. Thanks, everybody.